Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. We're back again with more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Let's get into it. Nocticula's servant is supposed to be here, hosting us until she's able to meet.
I'm off.
Well,
Greetings.
Well.
Greetings, Commander.
Lady Areelu, allow me to express my deepest admiration of your work, and may I just ask...
Under Areelu's imperious gaze, Nanio stutters and awkwardly falls silent. What are you doing here, Areelu, and with the suture in tow?
The suture is my servant. I did not expect him to rush into the abyss after me, but I have allowed him to remain with me while I take care of some business. However, you asked what I am doing here. I bring answers. You have walked a long path, one where shadows constantly flicker at the edge of your vision, and questions multiply like flies above carrion. It is time for answers. At least, some of them.
Areelu lifts her mirror, and you fall into its cold, shimmering depths.
Day 16, Aridus 4715. Experiment, transformation. Subject, let's skip that. Objective, to embed the essence of a Nehindrian crystal in the soul of the subject. Expected result, the essence will coalesce with the subject's soul, which will ready itself for total transformation, triggering the concomitant powers. The time has come to put my plan into action. You are my creation. Your power was my gift. Now you know.
Let's say I believe you. Why did you need to do all this?
You are asking the right questions, but the time has not yet come.
Ah, such special memories. Remember the laboratory, do you? I told you back then. Go on, look around. See all the ones Lady Areelu worked on. Here with us is definitely the place for you.
The Dretch grins in satisfaction. The unseen angel does not speak, but his silence seems to thunder in your ears.
Your power is of the same kind as that of Nulkineth, Jeribeth, and the other demons that you have met. The power of the Nehindrian crystal dissolved into the blood lies within your soul. I have already hinted at this to you once before, when I left the essence along with the lexicon of paradox in my old laboratory, and ordered the suture to make sure the gift found its way into your hands. But there is more. Do you remember when you were taken to Canobris with a wound that would not heal? Do you remember how Terendelev apparently healed you? That was merely an illusion. The dragon was only able to temporarily dull the pain. In fact, it was I who saved you, when I came to you in the caves and implanted a crystal within you. No, saved is not the right word. Your wound is still not healed. That is why your wound weeps blood from time to time, every drop of which burns your enemies.
As if to confirm her words, blood begins to seep from the wound on your chest. Eerie flames seem to dance within the crimson drops.
This is pure essence of Nehindrian crystal. My invention is far superior to the crystals used by Xanther, which were barely refined at all. It will give you new strength, and help you to overcome the wound that still slumbers within your soul. Take it. Take take it and you will see that this is the very power that has lived in you since the Battle of Canobris.
That's not going to work. You need to tell me everything first.
Very well then. Ask your questions and I will answer.
What is this wound in my soul? How dangerous is it?
It was my mistake. My failure. I failed to... The tale is too long to recount here. Your wound is a reflection of the world wound in a way. It is very dangerous, even if you do not yet realize it. It is not a disease, but rather an abscess, which will one day burst and kill you. It cannot fully be healed until the world wound is healed. No doubt you have felt this affliction on several occasions. It awakens when you use your power. It makes you sense more strongly what mortals call the corruption of the abyss. Until the world wound is healed, you will have no peace.
You followed me.
Like a witch in a fairy tale, I watched over you from birth. From before that, even. And I kept detailed notes. You were chosen and prepared for a special destiny. I am pleased to see that you still wear them. I enchanted them specially to protect you from danger. I am glad you found my gift useful.
Whoa. I've never kept these braces before. Holy smokes. Ooh, I'm glad I'm wearing them right now. Man, there are so many secrets in this game. The only reason I even have these braces is I think a subscriber mentioned you might be able to get some more power as a Lich if you have them. And I was like, well, how does that work? Wait, you know what? Don't tell me. I'll just figure it out for myself. This is empowering, but yet this alone is really cool. Awesome. Okay. I'm always keeping these braces from now on.
Aside from this, I helped you, even when you were unaware of my presence. I saved you and your unfortunate companions when you fell into the crevice in Canobris. In the Grey Garrison, it was I who distracted Minago to allow you to approach the Wardstone. And in Dresden, I appeared under the guise of Yoniel to guide you toward the Sword of Valor. And I also left you a present in my old laboratory, and told the Suture to see that you received it. I knew that sooner or later you would find your way there. That place exerts a powerful pull.
As it turns out, you helped me thwart the plans of your masters, Baphomet and Deskari.
They are not my masters. They are a resource.
Why was that whole ploy with the lab necessary? You even sacrificed your servant, the Searcher, for it.
You always have to sacrifice something. I wanted you to go to the laboratory to see with your own eyes what I had been doing and what I am capable of, so it would be easier for you to accept the truth. The laboratory is the place where I prepared your ascent. And the Suture was the only one who I could trust to execute my plan and explain everything. After all, he too once experienced rebirth at my hands. And that is why I was willing to risk his life.
Perception check passed. Look at that. I actually provoked a reaction. That's the second time your expression has changed when I've mentioned the Searcher. Now I know the architect of the Worldwound is capable of feeling remorse. If only when she sends her drenched minion on a deadly mission.
I see I am not the only one making observations and drawing conclusions. You are analyzing me. That is commendable.
The Lich Zacharias performed a powerful ritual on me, but he could not extract my soul. It was too strong. What's happening to me?
It is undoubtedly due to the influence of the Nahindrian crystal that I implanted in you. It is not surprising that your soul is strong. It is mixed with the spiritual essence of a Demon Lord, and a very powerful one at that. I am uncertain whether your soul could ever be ripped from your body, although I would advise against putting it to the test. However, you have the right to find your own way, and to test the limits of your power as much as you wish.
Tell me about Nahindrian crystals. Start from the beginning.
Nahindrian crystals are formed from the solidified blood of Demon Lords. Their properties are not well known, even among the inhabitants of the Abyss. And there are reasons for this. Acquiring the blood of a dead Demon Lord is very difficult. After a Demon Lord dies, their body is instantly absorbed into the Rift of Repose. Only the Lady in Shadow knows how to kill them in a way that allows her to preserve the bodies of her fellow lords and transform them into a solid state. That means that Nahindrian crystals cannot be obtained anywhere other than the Midnight Isles. Or rather, it was impossible until recently, when I managed to experimentally obtain a crystal from the blood of a still living lord. You saw the result. A dagger made from Deskari's freshly shed blood, which I left for you in Canabris. As regards the use of the crystals, that is a discussion that would take time, a very long time. Someday I will finish my groundbreaking treatise on the transformation of Nahindrian crystals, although it is unlikely I will ever publish it.
So you figured out how to use the crystals to imbue living creatures with power.
Not just any creatures, demons and half-demons. The soul must have a stable connection with the Abyss in order for it to receive the power of the crystal. Experiments involving tieflings and mongrels failed because the voice of the Abyss was not strong enough within them.
But I'm not a demon.
I wasn't a demon either when I started. But there are always ways to circumvent, or even to override the laws of the universe. I changed myself by knitting my soul together with the essence of the Abyss. And I changed you. Do you remember the fits of rage that began shortly after Deskari's attack on Canabris? This is how the second half of your soul manifested itself. Not yet fully aware. Not yet awakened. It's a pity you did not choose to let your demonic nature take hold. The result would have been most impressive.
Soon, one day.
All those arrogant crusaders, those knights with their eyes ablaze, those pious priests. They have installed at the head of their magnificent army a scion of the Abyss, the creation of the architect of the Worldwound, whom they so revile.
It's strange to see you here in Nocticula's palace. Whom do you really serve? Deskari? Baphomet?
Both. And neither. I have served both Deskari and Baphomet, and not merely as the lowest in the pecking order. But I do not think you'll be surprised when I tell you that to me, both of these mighty lords are merely convenient temporary sources of power. And their time is almost at an end. But the Lady in Shadow is different. She is the preeminent ruler. Soon you will understand this for yourself.
My power is different from that of Jerebeth, Nocticula, and the other demons.
Yes, because I taught Xanther and the other servants of Baphomet and Deskari the earliest version of this transformation ritual. I spent decades perfecting it until I obtained the power that I gave to you. Power in its most purified form, cleansed of the filth and chaos inherent within the original blood of the Demon Lords. Your power is as pure as thrice distilled water. But it resonates with other powerful sources of supernatural power, such as the Sword of Valor. And your power can change. You must have realized this already. You have shaped my gift into a form that you yourself have chosen. You are seeking answers, trying to understand the crux of the matter. That is good.
What I want to know is this. What do you want from me?
Patience. Before we continue, I want you to receive your power.
Areelu nods at the glowing essence. Touch the essence. I will not refuse this power, but I will decide how to use it. touch the essence, and the power, so familiar and clear, flows through you like a river. The power that courses through you is so immense, the wound on your chest closes up as if it had never existed.
Now you know. You truly know.
Enough! Enough of this madness! I was blind. O Lady of Heaven, how blind I was. I saw holiness in the half-fiend's creation. Away! Away from this festering hole! I must bring this terrible truth to Queen Galfrey, and save those who can be saved from this darkness!
I want to help you close the world wound.
Areelu's words are cut off by a quiet laugh. Sitting on the throne that was empty just a moment ago is none other than Nocticula, ruler of Shinra and the Midnight Isles, a powerful demon lord, and the one they call Our Lady in Shadow. Her red lips curl into an ironic smile, and her large eyes observe you with keen interest.
You were about to say, we are going to close the world wound, weren't you, Areelu? I see no reason to continue deceiving this mortal. Now I am convinced that he is quite worthy of serving me. I will even reward him with a modicum of knowledge about the events in which he is about to take part.
Lawful. Bow respectfully. Actually, no. The Lich doesn't feel that way about her. You've been sitting on your throne and listening to us this whole time?
Naturally. I am in the habit of observing my servants and guests while remaining unseen. Their private thoughts fly most eagerly from their lips when they believe themselves to be unwatched. And secrets exchanged in whispers are often invaluable.
I have too many questions, and I demand answers.
You are a guest here, mortal. A guest of the Lady in Shadow, the vanquisher of many a demon lord. I am the only one here who is entitled to demand answers. You may ask your questions when I allow you to do so. For now, remember your manners and greet me properly.
Lich is not going to try to fight her because he has no interest in taking on the entirety of the Abyss. He's definitely not bowing to her. He's definitely not kneeling. He's not joking around either. Nod calmly. My greetings, Lady Nocticula.
Such an impenetrable face you have, mortal. It hides your heart well. I have had my eye on you for a very long time. You see, it was at my behest that Lady Vorlesh imbued you with such incredible powers. But I was curious to see your worth as an individual, not as Lady Vorlesh's creation. Thus, I decided to postpone our meeting and see how you'd fare in Alashanira and whether or not you could win respect and power among those not so easily impressed by outstanding magical abilities. Well, you've passed my test adequately by proving that your character and your will are stronger than the Nahindrian powers Lady Vorlesh has vested in you.
You are wise, my lady. However, only those who have never known or forgotten what it is like to be mortal can so easily dismiss the importance of power. To be someone whose life is fragile and can be cut short at any moment, like a candle snuffed out by a gust of wind.
It is a shame your angel has left you, mortal. I would have liked to talk to him. I don't expect I will get another chance, as that celestial buffoon's days are numbered.
Nocticula's tone is casual, but her eyes are intent, scrutinizing you. You were able to see the hand of the Inheritor despite all his enchantments?
The herald of that upstart goddess? Here.
Yes, although his defenses were quite intricate. A commendable precaution on his part, as word of the hand of the Inheritor descending once more into the abyss reached the Echo of Deskari almost immediately. Mind you, vindictiveness and guile have always been among his best qualities.
The hand of the Inheritor told me his magic to see the eyes of all evil spawn of the abyss, but not yours.
Perhaps you don't know everything about me yet, mortal. Perhaps you made the same mistake as many before you, and many who were more insightful and more powerful than you, by presuming to know what to expect from the Lady in Shadow.
Tell me about the Echo of Deskari.
He is a strange creature, a bespoke creation, so to speak. Long before the Worldwound was opened, Deskari, that little cricket, was seeking a way to have some fun on Golarion and assert his influence there. One day, he decided to gather a few strong mortal followers, fuse them together into one being, and pump that being full of his own power, in the belief that something worthwhile would come of it. That is how the Echo came to be. To the great dismay of both the Echo and the Lord of Crickets, the Echo was greeted by Areelu, protector of humankind. Areelu gave the Echo such a thorough thrashing, the whole abyss thought him dead. And yet he was not. Cricket, the younger, is alive and well, though I cannot say the same for Areelu. But the Echo remembers his humiliation still. He hates anything and everything related to Areelu, especially his inheritor, Iomedae. Her heralds, her priests, her temples. He would hate Iomedae's pet pug, if she had one.
I feel like it's hilarious that she calls him Cricket the Younger. Why does the Echo of Deskari prey upon the hand of the Inheritor?
Envy, humiliation, ego. The usual playthings of little boys from all planes and realities. The Echo suffered more than one defeat. First at Areelu's hand, then under the onslaught of the forces of heaven. Those routes taught him to attack his enemies by stealth, boldly and often, killing and crippling anyone close to the light-bringing goddess. Now, it seems, he has decided the time has come. The Herald of Iomedae himself is in the abyss alone, without a retinue of lesser angels.
I see.
He's an interesting little bird, that angel. Before he became the Herald of Iomedae, he served Regathiel, the General of Vengeance. I've always found the fate of that Imperial Lord to be quite fascinating. Did you know that the father of the Upper Plains' top military leader was a devil from hell? Regathiel had to achieve many feats to redeem his unholy legacy in the eyes of the other Imperial Lords. But he did. A remarkable tale, is it not?
Your conversation is interrupted by a concerned-looking succubus who silently approaches Nocticula and then begins fervently whispering into her ear. Nocticula's expression turns hard and cold. As Nocticula ponders the new development, the messenger makes eyes at you playfully. You recognize those green eyes, except they were awash with pain when you last saw them, their owner bleeding out in the caverns of the Nexus. The succubus smiles slightly and gives you a wink.
Another island, another loss. Enough! I warned them that I would not stand for the desolation of my realm. They have not heeded me, and they will regret it. Go to your sisters, and tell them to prepare.
Nocticula sends the green-eyed servant away and turns her face to you once again. That green-eyed succubus, I know her.
Yes, you've already met Laulia, my talented assistant. I've heard she was very convincing at acting out her tragic death in the mines of the Nexus. As you can see, I've been watching you since your very first moments in the Abyss. And even a little earlier.
This seed has always been goofy to me. I'm at this point a professional at killing demons and seeing through illusions. What do you mean she fake played dead? Like, how do you fake not getting your throat slit or your head flat out cut off? But all right, we're gonna roll with it.
I value servants such as Laulia. She stayed in character, even when you had decided to finish her off. Your merciful decision has left a lovely scar on her beautiful body. I have prepared a beautiful intrigue that will topple many of your enemies and seal the Worldwound forever, ending the threat to Golarion. And you have the chance to become part of that intrigue.
My companion, Ember, would like to speak with you.
Ember? So that's her then? Well, approach. I have heard you bleating your pathetic prayers at me. You have some nerve addressing me with such nonsense. Did you think I would simply repent? Renounce my status as a Demon Lord? Do you have any idea what I had to do to acquire it? Wait, what is this?
Tears are rolling down Ember's cheeks as she sniffles noisily. She presses her maimed hands against your heart as she stares up at Nocticula. Her fragile form shudders from weeping. Areelu wrinkles her nose in disdain. Why have you brought this simpleton here? This is Alan Shinra, not Nerosian. We don't give alms here.
I can't stand these noises. Do you think you're the first to try to move me with a display of tears? It only makes me angry. If you wish to speak, then wipe your nose and speak clearly.
I know what you had to do. To others and to yourself. I'm so sorry. So sorry. If only I could ease your pain somehow. Calm your sorrows.
She believes that, deep down, everyone is good, even creatures that are evil by nature.
I don't know what nature is and don't care a whit about cosmic good and evil. They are but labels thought of by philosophers. I know what power is. Pleasure. Desire. All this childish babble merely amuses me. Nothing more. So, where were we? My pain? My sorrows? What nonsense are you talking? Don't tell me you pity me.
I'm so sorry. You're the most miserable soul I've ever seen. I've seen people burned alive. People being devoured by monsters. People burying their children. They were in pain. So much pain. But I've never seen anyone in as much pain as you.
What is this saccharine drivel? What do you even know of me, Nat?
I've seen your city. You were the one who built it. It is the way you wanted it to be. It holds all of your dreams, all of your heart, and everyone in this city is suffering. Everywhere, all the time, every minute. All who live here are hurting and scared. If these are its citizens, how miserable must its ruler feel?
And this is what you brought her to me for. You think this infantile sniveling is worthy of my attention?
Lawful. I doubt you will be able to understand her message. You're a demon. Of course speeches about goodness make no sense to you.
I am first and foremost myself. All who told me who I should be came to regret it. Leave it to windbag scholars to waffle on about how evil is unable to fathom the path of good. I may be a demon lord, but I understand perfectly well what goodness is. I understand it, and I despise it. So, what do you suggest I do, preacher? Beg the good gods' forgiveness? Devote myself to serving a sword-swinging upstart, perchance? Or that old crone, the moon?
No. Gods can't help anyone. They're just like us mortals. Silly, frightened, clueless. You're almost goddess yourself. You know better than anyone that no one can save you. No one except you.
Save me? From what exactly?
From yourself. From what you've done to yourself. From the city you've imprisoned yourself in. Listen! You are a queen, but you're the queen of pain and filth. Your realm realm is a realm of your own suffering. You're almost a goddess. You can do anything you want. So why won't you make yourself happy? You could become the Redeemer Queen.
Oh, the Redeemer Queen! That's new. Never in all my years have I heard anything like that. Well, child, enough joking. Get out of my sight, or I'm afraid I might decide to keep you here forever as my fool.
Voice actress did a fantastic job with that sequence.
Do you think she took my words to heart?
Who knows?
I suppose you're right. We'll see what happens.
I told you to get out! I don't want to hear your squeaky voice again!
Did Areelu really create me? She has certainly had a hand in your present state of existence. Lady Vorlesh designed the Worldwound, a magical phenomenon of unfathomable power. To seal it, we required a key that was just as strong and unique. Simply put, we required a champion, and she chose you. Both your powers and that wound in your chest were the result of her experiments when she infused your soul with the essence of the abyss. Of course, you remember none of that. Everything was done in secret. Even the power granted to you was purified to the extent that it was possible, so that you would not guess its source ahead of time. In trial after trial, we watched your will be tempered, and when the time came, we started filling you with the energies of the hindering crystals. These energies are necessary for the task at hand. Everything that's happened to you was part of my intrigue. I was going to summon you and reveal the truth when the time was right. Instead, you have followed your queen's orders and arrived here early. One can only hope that you're prepared to accept the truth. Everything has its price, said Areelu quickly. Your wound was, in essence, the flip side of all my experiments. There was a reason why we required a true champion, not merely a living tool who we could fling into the flames of the Worldwound and close it like any lesser rift. I think you should know that. Nocticula makes a sudden gesture, cutting Areelu off. Don't be too hasty. We have burdened him with enough revelations for now. Give him time to become accustomed to the truth about himself. Then you can share all the details. What exactly are you offering me? I'm offering you the chance to become my weapon. Your enemies are a thorn in my side as well as yours. What's more, I have never schemed against Golarion, nor have my warriors taken part in the conquest of your plane, at least not at my behest. There is no cause for enmity between us. Why would you want to close the wound? When the Worldwound opened, I was pleased. My realm was now connected to another plane. I wanted to make it into a crossroads of worlds, a place where demons, devils, and even angels could meet. The wound was a convenient path along which I could advance my ideas. But the Midnight Owls were not the only realm that has been linked to Golarion through the wound. Deskari and Baphomet now also had a way from their realms into your plane. Their servants flooded my island and spread out across them like a plague of locusts, killing guests who were under my protection, questioning my rule. They were driven by their lust to conquer and enslave, whether on Golarion or in another abyssal realm. I was forced to shift my focus and express my discontent. Eventually, atop the bones of our servants, we reached an accord. I would let their armies pass, and they would comply with my wishes while on my islands. Of course, the accord is a polite fiction. Both the Deskarites and the Baphomets are attempting to amass their power and influence, and Alan Shinra to overthrow me. When they think I'm not watching, they break my taboos and revel in their own impudence. And worst of all, Lady Vorlesh told them about the Nahindran crystals. They realized what kind of power the crystals hold, and now they are determined to mine every last deposit hidden within my islands. And once an island loses its crystals, it becomes nothing but flotsam, slowly sinking into the dark waters of Ishiar. With every lost island, my power is diminished. I could start a war and kill the plunderers, but a major conflict would hinder some of my other plans. So instead, I will teach my neighbors a lesson by orchestrating their ignominious defeat at the hands of a mortal. What do I gain by serving you? A reasonable question. One must always serve one's own interest. Well, rest assured that you will be adequately rewarded. I will give you benefit gifts befitting your ambitions, and my patronage, which you can certainly count on, will prove more valuable than any enchanted trinkets you could dream up. If you're so powerful, why do you need me? If I were to make a move myself, it would start a war. Not that I'm afraid of doing so, but it would hamper my more important plans. Baphomet and Deskari could never best me, but they could sow enough chaos and spill enough blood that visitors from other planes would shudder at the mention of Alan Shinra. No, I will wage war on my own terms, in the shadows, and I will remain unseen until I drive my blade into my enemy's back. And since Galfrey happened to send you to my realm, you have the honor of becoming my blade mortal. Be glad you're wielded by skillful hands. We should also reveal how exactly our blade will be employed. Nocticula silences Areelu with a sharp gesture. We could discuss the details later when the moment is right. Now is not the time for idle conversation. How exactly do you plan to close the Worldwound? She rolls her eyes. It's a complicated magical process. You will receive precise instructions once you capture the threshold fortress of Golarion. There, at the exact spot where Lady Vorlesh opened the Worldwound, you will be able to close it. But first, you'll have to crush the guardians of the threshold, and their forces are growing by the day. Hepzibah, Baphomet's daughter, is mining a large number of Nahindran crystals in my realm. These crystals are her secret weapon. No army on Golarion can stand against them. You must stop Hepzibah. If you do not, your world will fall, and my plans will suffer significant harm. At one time, I disclosed the secret of transformation to two servants of Baphomet and Deskari, Xanthur Vang and Mudasafin. It was a well-calculated gambit which brought us time and assured both Deskari and Baphomet of my loyalty. Mudasafin is Hepzibah's favorite. He oversees the transformation of her army. Hepzibah is currently on another island far from here. The route to that place is plagued by pirates, monsters, tempests, and other, more terrifying dangers. Have you heard of the living bubbles of frozen time that swallow airships, and when the ships reach port, their crews discover they've been gone for 100 years? That is not the strangest occurrence you can encounter on your journey. I'm willing to provide you with a decent ship and an experienced crew. If you kill Hepzibah, it will stop her sinking any more of my islands, but without giving Baphomet cause to declare war on me. Why is it so important to kill Hepzibah? Deskari and Baphomet won't just stand there and watch you close the Worldwound. They'll send their armies after you, so you will need an army of your own, and that is something the Crusaders won't have for long. Hepzibah is mining more and more Nahindran crystals to empower her forces when she attacks Golarion. If you don't stop her, the Crusader resistance will be crushed, and the ranks of demons pouring through the Worldwound into your world will multiply 100-fold. You were sent here to cut off the demon army supply of Nahindran crystals, weren't you? Well, that's exactly what you're going to accomplish. I will consider your offer, Lady in Shadow. And accept it, I'm sure. I respect your caution and won't force you into submission. We all stand to gain if you do my bidding of your own volition. A glimmer of approval dances in Nocticula's eyes. An interesting destiny lies before you, mortal. You will rise to great heights and play a part in events of titanic proportions. Many would give their life for a chance to tread such a path. Hepzibah visits Alan Shinra every now and again, but her true lair is far from here. She hides on the island of Calafir, to the northwest of my archipelago. There lies her secret fortress. In the deep mines, her slaves dig Nahindran crystals for the invading army she plans to bring to Golarion. I will give you a magnificent airship and an experienced crew to take you there. It will be a long and perilous journey. Take some time to prepare. I killed Willidus, your court mage. Nocticula shows no hint of sadness. I am aware of this, of course. It is lamentable in a way, since his fear of me was strong enough to make him impeccably loyal. However, his death is but a single move in a much larger game. In games like this, losing a few pawns is unavoidable. I want to ask you about other powerful denizens of the Abyss. Are you interested in one of my servants? Or do you wish for me to tell you something about your enemies? What is your relationship with Areelu? She works for me, isn't it obvious? Lady Vorlesh is very talented. She may be the most brilliant and capable mind ever to come from your plane, and the guile she used to portray one Demon Lord Master after another impressed me so much that I offered her the position of my advisor on matters of magic. Naturally, the esteemed Lord Goat and Lord Locust don't know a thing about the betrayal of their faithful lackey, Lady Vorlesh. I plan to keep it a secret for a while longer. Betrayal is too strong a word. I opened the path to Golarion for those two, and I told them how to extract power from the hindering crystals. That will suffice. Does it bother you that Areelu serves another master? Nocticula smiles deviously. I'm not prone to jealousy. Let Deskari think Lady Vorlesh serves him still. His bugbearing seems incapable of sensing betrayal. As for Baphomet, he, like any talented liar, is most vulnerable when he's trying to deceive someone else. He was so pleased to have fooled Deskari that he became blind to the treachery that was happening right under his snout. In truth, Lady Vorlesh's loyalty is mine alone. Loyalty is for fools. Shared interest. That is what rational minds rely upon. That and fear. No one in their right mind would oppose the Lady in Shadow. How did Areelu become your servant? When the Worldwound was first opened, it only led to Deskari's realm, but then there was another, more powerful breach. The wound expanded, and its paths now passed through my realm, and Baphomet's as well. Before long, all sorts of interlopers had heard about the power contained within the crystals here, and the Midnight Isles were soon overrun with agents from my new neighbors. They flouted my embargo, burrowing greedily into my rocks, stealing my crystals. The main culprit was one Areelu Vorlesh. She was the one who discovered the energies of the hindering crystals. I had captured her and was about to carry out her agonizing execution when Lady Vorlesh offered me something I desired even more than her death. She entered my service, and her main task since then has been to close the Worldwound. Once it is sealed, my realm will once again be cut off from those of Baphomet and Deskari, and their slaves will no longer be able to infiltrate my islands with such ease. Do you remember the elven archmage who used to serve you thousands of years ago? He's still alive. We know each other. Really? He was well past his youth even back then, and now, just how old is he? Can mortals even live that long? Well, apart from your immortal Aslanti. Say hello to him on behalf of the Lady in Shadow, and tell him that the one who replaced him has disappointed me immensely with his incompetence. No matter how hard he tried, he can never live up to my magnificent elf. You know, you've managed to surprise me. A rare occurrence for someone who knows just about everything. What about of her eyelashes? Nocticula sends you a piercing gaze, one that feels like it's delving into the deepest corners of your soul. Are Baphomet and Deskari your allies? The Goat and the Locust? Allies is too strong a word for our relationship. Our connection was forged by circumstance, not out of a desire to deal with each other. When the Worldwound opened, it tied your world to our realms. I did not join my armies with theirs, but I was forced into making peace with them so as not to get bogged down in a tiring and distracting war. If I had the opportunity, I would have met them on my terms and expanded my territories, at their expense. Nocticula indulges herself with a thin smile. Unfortunately, this is not currently possible. By the way, one of them came to me with the offer of an atrocious alliance that involved conceiving little ones together. I'm still contemplating the specifics of my refusal. It needs to be clear and unambiguous. Her ensuing laughter is deep and musical, almost enchanting. Baphomet really is pathetic when it comes to Nocticula. Everything is clear to me now. Nocticula just gives you a mysterious smile. Does the Lich wish to inform her of treason? Not really. I want to know more about you. Recounting my whole story would take longer than your brief mortal life allows. The list of demon lords I've slain is endless on its own, as is the number of islands under my rule. And that's just the past. There's also my future. How did you become a demon lord? Bear in mind that I have always been unique, ever since I was born. I was the first succubus of the Abyss, the perfect specimen of my race. I had been enjoying my youth, sharing it with my brother and lover, until the hungry gaze of the Demon Lord Nahindri fell upon me. That greedy tyrant saw me as a jewel to be added to his treasure hoard. He tried to abduct me. I knew I had no chance of defeating a Demon Lord, but in that moment I was not thinking at all. I was fighting for my freedom. When it was all over, Nahindri was dead. I eviscerated him, and for many days afterward, blood spewed from his open carcass. First, his body turned to stone, and then his blood, which had been flowing like a stream, began to crystallize into massive purple glaciers. Now do you see why they are called Nahindrian crystals? Perhaps they should be called Nocticulan crystals, because as Nahindri's blood crystallized, so too did my understanding of my own power. Soon after, I began my campaign of conquest. I was cunning and swift, and the Demon Lords themselves trembled before me, knowing I could take their very lives. Only when all of the Abyss spoke my name with terror and reverence did I decide that I had killed enough. I had a realm. I had power I no longer shared with my brother. I had servants, and most importantly, I had safety. No one has ever repeated old Nahindri's mistakes. No one has tried to make me their slave. Are the Midnight Owls really the corpses of slain Demon Lords? Yes, my realm is quite literally built on the bones of my slain enemies. Ironic, isn't it? How did you turn the dead Demon Lords into islands? Nocticula responds with a mocking smile. Surely you don't expect me to reveal the secret to you. There is no need for mortals to learn the weaknesses of Demon Lords. All I can say is that everything started with my desire for revenge. After I had dealt with Nahindri, I was furious at the thought of that vile, lecherous wretch just teleporting over to the Rift of Repose, where he could turn to stone and stay there to rot for the remainder of eternity. I wanted to trample his foul corpse, to keep his bloody body within my sight forever. I yearned to display my glorious trophy to all of the Abyss, and that's when my power first manifested. I studied my newfound abilities and learned how to use them. Before long, I possessed not just one island, but an entire archipelago. What do you plan to do next? Subdue all of the Abyss? Possibly. Or perhaps I have something grander in mind. The Abyss? Who cares about the Abyss? Nocticula's full-throated laughter rings out like a challenge to the entire world. I have no more questions. It's always nice to indulge one's curiosity. I have a question. From her sleeve, Nanio produces a pencil and a piece of paper. Lady Nocticula, how many copulation partners have you had? I'm making a list for the encyclopedia, and I believe you may take one of the top spots. For a few tense moments, Nocticula peers into Nanio's face and yours, then smiles with the slightest curve of her lips. What matters to me is not quantity, but quality, and I am well ahead of any other denizen of the Abyss in that regard. That is where we will end this conversation. If I am to depart for Cullenfer, your guards must watch over my camp in the Nexus and all who are residing there. Nocticula nods regally. I will send my assassins to ensure that no harm comes to your entourage. Be grateful for my patronage, Mortal. I still have some business to take care of in Alan Shinra. Nocticula nods to herself. Areelu, you are no longer needed here. As you will, my lady. Areelu vanishes, but you notice a look in her eyes, pensive and appraising. Nocticula casts a piercing glance at the spot where Areelu was but a moment ago, then stops you with a commanding gesture. There is one more thing we must discuss. The Lexicon of Paradox, Lady Vorlesh's magical treatise that contains many secrets of the Worldwound. You and my servant Lady Vorlesh were just talking about the Lexicon of Paradox. For many years, it has remained split in half, harmless. But what was once divided can be made whole again. Who knows what power the book could impart to its owner? What if they expand the Worldwound even further, or connect it to other planes? Not a chance. The Lexicon of Paradox has caused more than enough trouble already. You already possess the first half of the book. Find the other one and bring them both to me. I will reward you handsomely. Giving the book into my keeping will also protect Golarion from suffering a second Worldwound disaster. The Lexicon of Paradox will be much safer under my watchful eye than in your travel bags. Wouldn't you agree? Why do you need this book? One Worldwound alone has been enough of a nuisance for me. I want to ensure that some future mage leafing through this book doesn't link my realm to another plane. I'll consider your offer. The reward will not disappoint you, I promise. This dangerous knowledge ought to be locked up securely. I won't keep you any longer. I still have some business to take care of in Shinra. You have taken a liking to my city, I see. Well then, savor it to the fullest, and then come back for truly important business. Nocticula's lips part in a smile that is both predatory and alluring. All right. Awesome. Love that whole dialogue. Love it when you set up a mystery at the beginning of the game and then the payoff is actually worth it when you get it. Finding out that you are actually Areelu's creation. And honestly, though, that's not all the secrets to be revealed. Definitely love the way the story develops. Lich. Ooh, I get more powers. Oh, I thought I would be able to upgrade the skeleton. When do I get to upgrade the skeleton again? Huh. Oh, at level 8. Oh, so you only get 2 upgrades. It's at level 8. Okay, fine. I could get spell penetration. Did I already get spell focus? Let's see. I have spell focus mythic, yep, abundant, proved abundant, greater abundant. I got to get ruinous spells. Well then, it's obvious what I need to get here. Well, actually, no. We're gonna get a couple more before I lose everybody. But yeah, level 8 is where it's really at. So we don't have to worry about that just yet. Ooh, Sorcerer's Reflex. That's what I'll go ahead and get. Lich powers. +1 profane bonus per mythic range damage. Or ones under any mind affecting effects. Nanio, you should help me out with that. And I'm pretty sure I have everything I need. I can't remember. We'll take Mind Blink, why not? Yeah, all are all wiped out. Why not? Boom. You definitely this. What's up with you? Do you have brew potions? I can't remember. Oh, Sorcerer's Reflex. Yeah, because you got everything else you need, right? Yep, spell focus mythic. Yeah, I don't need cast level increased. Oh, we could give you evocation stuff though. That would be interesting. We'll start with Sorcerer's Reflex. What you got going on? Level 6, yeah. We will go with improve critical. Tired of you swinging and doing nothing, bro. Ooh, rapid shot. Help with your attacks, huh? Okay.
I'm always open to ideas.
Stuff.
Ba-er-rittig.
Now, drop Ember off. Get in my real teammate. And let's do that Lich Mythic quest. Boom, 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 boom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Okay, so he said go down into the caves to try to bring the Demon Lord spirit back up. Interesting. Lord back to life? This sounds fascinating. I hated the idea of this when they first mentioned. I was like, weakening my soul. I'm not doing that. Crazy. I'm just curious. Is there any? Can't remember if there's like any sign of him anywhere. Nope, he's completely gone. Cause he doesn't trust me. Nor should he. Why is? Force the target's blood. The target. Oh, that's right. That's right. I get temporary hit points from it. That's what's on there. Okay, cool. And here are Nocticula's guards, making sure that my camp is going to be safe no matter what happens. I must. Very, very useful. Do you want to talk about what happened at Egelfel's mansion? You mean about how I turned down an amazing magical power because of you? I'm kidding. I rejected it of my own free will. You know, Chief, I've never met anyone like you. I should be laughing at myself and you and the way we worked everything out, but I don't want to. What would I do in the abyss? I just keep hanging out with scumbags and traitors, thinking that I'm one of them. But with you, I've been places, seen things, good and bad, and things I've never even thought about before. Woljif pauses to think. Sister Charisma and the others used to tell me to grow up and act like an adult. Maybe this is it? I seem to have made a choice, the most important one in my life. I don't know who I am yet, but I'm definitely not a street rat or an urchin anymore. Just don't call me a crusader. I've never respected them and I still don't. You're the exception. I have to go. We'll talk later. Free to do as you please. All right. And finally... Take you. And you. Sure. What the hell? Oh, yeah. That's that open space. All right. I think that's enough for one video. Hope all of you enjoyed the video today. If you did, please leave me a like down below. Share this content and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.